Today we're reading some of the wildest stories Reddit has to offer. Hi, I'm Mel.
And I'm May, and we're pulling some crazy subreddits.
These stories are going to make you question everything. And I'm Marie.
All right, first up, this one's coming from Am I the Arsehole? It immediately caught my eye, so let's get into it. Am I the arsehole for breaking off my engagement with my fiancé because of his creepy comments towards my 14-year-old sister? Oh. Okay. I, 20 female, am in a tough situation and I'm not sure if I'm overreacting, so I need some outside perspectives. I've been with my fiancé, Charles, 35 male, for about 2 years and everything seems fine until recently. A few weeks ago, my 14-year-old sister Amy came to stay with us for just a few days whilst our parents were out of town. During her stay, I started noticing some really unsettling things. At first, I thought I was imagining it, but Charles started making comments that made me feel incredibly uncomfortable. He would call her so hot and would say things like, "You're going to turn heads when you're older," and "You've got such a body on you already."
Wow.
The worst part was when he said, "I'd be jealous if I were your boyfriend. Every guy will be looking at you soon." I tried to ignore it at first, but it kept happening and I felt sick to my stomach. Then one evening, I overheard him telling a friend on the phone, "Amy's got that look now. It's like she's starting to bloom." It was honestly one of the creepiest things I've ever heard. I felt like I was losing my mind. I just knew I couldn't stay in that relationship anymore. I confronted him about his behaviour and he immediately got defensive. He denied it and said I was being paranoid, that I should trust him. He insisted that he was just being nice and that I was overreacting. I didn't care. I packed my things, broke off the engagement and moved back in with my parents. Now my friends and some family members are telling me I overreacted. They say I should have talked it out with him first, but I don't see how that would have changed anything. So, am I the arsehole for breaking up with my fiancé because of his creepy comments towards my little sister? 1 second. Top comment. Not the arsehole. He liked you because of how young you were. Same applies to your
Right.
sister. You made the right choice.
Thank you. How old is she again? 24?
She is 20.
Right. And
He
they've been
likes them
together for
young.
2 years.
Also, he's a 35-year-old male.
35, and he's... Okay, so they've been going out since he was
Whoa.
roughly, give or take, 33.
Yeah.
And when she was 18, that's
2
not
years.
normal. That's not normal. 18
At
and
all.
33. He likes them young. And do you know what? Her sister's coming to that ripe old age that he likes.
That
He likes
prefers.
teens.
He
He
prefers.
That
Yeah,
is
he likes
scary.
teens.
He does, you know. That is scary.
My main concern is everyone else is talking about, oh, you should have talked it out. So what? He can conceal himself better. What he's doing is absolutely vile. And it's just predatory. Please,
But
exit.
also,
Thank God she exited. Good
Listen,
for you.
yeah.
But also, she heard what he was saying when she wasn't in the room. And that's all that I need to know.
She's
is your
starting to bloom.
This is your authentic self. Like him talking
when he's not being
unfiltered,
watched, when he thinks he's not being watched
Thank
anyway.
you. He's not being watched. He's not on best behaviour. He's just talking honestly to his friend. And he's saying she's getting to that age. She's blooming. That's predatory language. And also behaviour. It's literally telling you who he is. I
Yeah.
don't think a conversation would have changed anything. He would have just tried to, smooth it out. And basically, by him marrying her, it gives him access to Amy as well. He's not
Yeah.
dumb.
Through and through. At the end of the day, 35-year-old with a 20-year-old, what are you talking about? I'm so sorry. Like, I honestly think you're not even, like, what? You're at different stages in your life. At 35, you're kind of like settling into yourself. Like, you should be quite settled in your career, like finances, etc., etc. A 20-year-old is just starting out, and he's been with her since she was 18. 18 and a 33-year-old. What?
It scares me that she can't do the maths, that she
That's
can't see
crazy.
that he started going out with her when she was 17, 18
Yeah, but
years
you
old.
And her
You
sister's
wouldn't know.
her
You
sister's
wouldn't know.
14.
No,
It's
no,
not
no.
that
She
Like, that's not
dissimilar.
dissimilar to
No, when I
when they
say-
started.
Yeah, but when you are the person in the situation, it's very hard for you to see. And
Yeah. No,
she's
of
just in
course.
love,
Right.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And if it's
Right.
her first boyfriend and then he's gone and married her, what are you going to think about it? You're young. Imagine if we were 18, 19 and this guy came over and he was old enough, he had money, he was settled. We wouldn't be like, this is a creep. Very few people would say this is a creep, especially
No,
if he
of
doesn't treat
course,
you
but-
in a negative way. That's how so many people get trafficked and picked up
Yeah.
when they're by themselves. It's very normal, especially if your family supports it. There's
No, it's
nobody
true.
that actually said, this is a predator. If someone came to me and said, my 16-year-old is dating a 35-year-old, I'd be like, you need to get the hell out of it. I would say something about it.
Yeah.
But the whole family seems to be okay with it, to the point that they're telling her to go back. So she's not in an environment where it is alarming. She's in an environment which is like, this is great. I mean, they're married, so there was no
No,
opposing...
they're
No,
engaged.
engaged.
Sorry, they're engaged. So no one opposed to this
I
relationship.
know.
No, but now that we're older, we know like someone in their 30s
Yeah.
should not be dating someone that's just touched
Yeah.
20, like literally. And then the fact that he's now making those kind of comments. Do you know what's really, really funny actually? May and I were watching a movie the other day. I can't know, a show or something. And I remember that one of the guys said to someone's partner, like his friend's partner, he meets her for the first time, oh my God, you're so beautiful. And it's like an old film. And I was like, do you know what's really strange? People don't do that anymore. Because it was like the old, like before Me Too and all the rest of it. Like back then, a man used to comment on women's looks all the time.
Yeah.
Like, let's just say, I don't know, like my partner met you for the first time. Like back in the day, we'd be like, oh my God, you're so beautiful, Marie. Oh, I love the way you're wearing that dress. But we don't do that now because...
No, that happens to me. Did you not hear at
Huh?
the wedding? What's it called? What I said about a Thingy's best friend. I was like, the first thing he ever said is like, oh, you got braces. They look so nice. And I turned to Thingy and I was like, I'm sorry. Is this a normal thing to happen? And
No,
one
but
of
you
his- one
noticed
of the
it because it's
speeches,
strange.
I was like, this is wild.
Yeah,
Why are you complimenting me in
remember,
such
like,
a way?
but remember, like our parents' generations, like back in the 80s and 90s, before Me Too, all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Like people used to talk about people's bodies, and like the comments that this guy's talking about, like,
Yeah,
so the comments he's
Saying,
made,
yeah.
he's saying, talking about her body, how she's blooming, like it's very reminiscent of like back in the days, predatory behavior being and predatory comments being like so normalized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now we know better, and that's why it's so alarming, because we're more aware about just predatory behavior. Have the Me Too movement.
agree.
Everybody's more like
No,
feminist
every-
inclined. Like we know
everyone
it's wrong.
understands.
So it's like, wow.
Yeah,
like,
I get it.
a
But I'm still
14-year-old.
saying that no one in that circle thinks it's alarming. Not her friends,
I
not her
know.
family.
He's
It
probably
has-
doing well for himself. That's why.
Yeah, but
Like
even
a
now,
35-year-old that's doing
even
well
when you
for
watch
himself.
90 Day
looks,
Fiancé, there'll be one small girl
And-
who is
no.
marrying or engaged to some big 35-year-old man, and in her community, it's fine. It just depends.
Yeah.
I think Western culture really looks down on that stuff. But if you are in other countries, it's nothing. A 13-year-old gets married to a 40-year-old man, and she has to wait till she's ripe of
No,
a
I
certain age
know.
before they what's it called. So
But I'm gonna
just
take a
in
wild
these-
but I'm gonna take a wild guess and think that this is probably in a Western culture.
No, I do
where
agree, but I still feel like
it's still
her-
alarming.
It is, but not to the people that she's around. So
Yeah.
I know,
the
but
question,
that's
the
why
question
I
that we're bringing up
question
is why
what kind of
she didn't
35-year-old
see.
is he? No, agreed. But I'm telling
Yeah.
you right now, yeah, if this 35-year-old is well-to-do, I mean,
Yeah,
like
I'm sure he
house,
has money.
career, da.
It's
like,
okay.
That's probably why her parents or her family are probably confused. Why did you break it off with him? Why Charles was a good candidate, da. But
I
it's
think
like,
because
mm-mm,
he's also
mm-mm.
might be good looking. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah, I'm
This was
telling you.
some critter of a man. Everyone will be like, why are you with
Yeah,
this old man?
it's true.
You were with some gargoyle. Everyone will be like, what's happening here?
What's
Of
the
all the men that you
It's
could have,
true.
why did you pick this one? But he might be good looking. And it's like, but he picked you.
I know.
Yeah.
No, I'm not the asshole. Like,
Well
there
done
were
to you,
there
like,
were red
not
flags. I'm
clap.
so I'm
Yeah,
so glad
well
she
done
picked
to
up her
you.
bags and left
And she's young as
immediately as well.
well.
Yeah, like she's got a good head on her shoulders.
Do you know what? I really like how decisive she was.
Me
so,
too.
Not the asshole,
Mm-mm.
and yeah.
Thank you for having your sister's back, because she
Literally.
doesn't have anyone protecting her.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's true because her family was okay with it. Yeah.
So mine is from Am I the Arsehole? My sister stole my late wife's wedding ring and gave it to her daughter. Okay, so here's the deal. My 38 male wife, Emily, passed away 4 years ago from cancer. It was the hardest thing I ever went through, and honestly, I'm still not over it. We were together for 15 years, and she was my everything. When she passed, I kept her wedding ring in a little jewelry box on my dresser. It was a very sentimental item to me. Fast forward to now, my sister Claire, 41 female, has a 17-year-old daughter, Maddie, who just got engaged. Pardon? 17?
Wow.
Yeah, 17. Okay, you agree. I told Claire I thought it was crazy for Maddie to get married so young, but that's not the main issue. A few weeks ago, I noticed Emily's ring was gone. I freaked out and searched everywhere, thinking I misplaced it, but deep down, I knew that wasn't the case. I didn't want to accuse anyone without proof, but I had a feeling. Then at Maddie's engagement party last weekend, guess what? She's wearing Emily's ring. I confronted Claire in private and asked her why Maddie had it. She tried to brush me off, saying Maddie fell in love with it when she saw it
Wow.
once, and Claire thought I'd want it to go to family since I wasn't using it anymore.
Then ask.
Then in capital letters, are you kidding me? I lost it. I told her to get the ring back immediately or I was calling the cops.
Yeah.
Claire flipped out, saying I was being selfish and ruining Maddie's big moment. And I don't care. That ring is my late wife's and it means everything to me. Now the whole family's involved. Some people are on my side, saying Claire was out of order, but others think I'm reacting because it's just a ring. And Maddie's
Just a ring, then go and buy your own.
And Maddie's a kid who didn't know better. Maddie's crying, Claire's calling me a monster, and my parents are begging me to just let it go for the sake of peace. But I can't. It's not about the ring being valuable, it's about what it represents. I told Claire I'm giving her 1 week to return the ring, or I'm filing a police report. Now everyone's calling me dramatic and threatening to cut me off if I go through with it. I feel like I'm going crazy. So Reddit, am I the asshole?
Sorry,
Not the
wait.
asshole.
Definitely not the
What is
asshole.
going on?
But I'm really confused, right? Because I want to know, did she take... Is
Who
the
stole the
sister-
ring? Yeah,
That's
it's
what
the
I'm saying.
sister.
Is the sister claiming...
I think Claire.
I think the sister, Claire,
Claire.
Yeah, I think
But
Claire
she
gave it
came
to her
in-
daughter.
Yeah, it isn't the
no,
niece.
but
It's not the niece.
Hear me out. Claire's story is that her daughter took the ring
No.
because she
Claire's
fell in love
story-
with it.
Claire's story is that the daughter loves the ring.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And I
and
think
so-
Claire went
and
to
she fell in
get
love
it
with
for
it.
her.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to know two things. One, how did she get the ring? Like, what's the story?
Yeah.
If it's, the sister saying that her daughter saw the ring and the daughter got it, or she got it for her daughter. Second is her daughter just got engaged. Is it with this same ring that she got engaged? Because then we have a problem. The ring should come from the man. The man should have provided the ring. It can't be his late wife's ring that this boy, this man, would be presenting to his niece. Because then if it's not, because this is where I'm actually getting quite hot and quite concerned. If it's not his late wife's ring that this guy's gone and proposed, then technically this girl has 2 engagement rings.
Can I say
No.
we're making assumptions here?
I
That
think,
she-
I
that
think
she's
we're-
wait a second, can we just
don't-
say we're making
yeah.
assumptions that she's engaged to a man?
Okay.
Because she
whoever-
might have engaged the other person. Do you know that? She might be in a same-sex relationship and she's the
Okay.
person that's then proposed to somebody else.
No, but she's wearing
wrong.
the ring.
Wrong.
She's
Let
wearing the
me-
ring.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you. And
No
also,
idea.
it says specifically she got engaged.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that
So
suggests that
it
she
says
was
here,
engaged,
if I
not
recap,
she
it
engaged
says-
somebody else.
Yeah.
It was after she got engaged that the ring went missing. So she got engaged. That was the first thing. And then a few weeks ago, I noticed Emily's ring was gone. So I'm assuming that after the engagement, then she came and got the ring.
So does she have 2 engagement
I don't
rings?
think she's...
I think
we
this
don't have
is
that
it.
information.
We don't, yeah.
The information that
Okay.
we have is that I'm making the assumption that she got engaged probably with a very cheap non-ring, could be anything, or a symbol engagement.
Yeah.
And then they've gone and got the ring because they were like, well,
And-
she's dead.
And so this
Yeah.
new ring,
And this new ring symbolizes the
their
engagement.
engagement.
Because it's a really expensive ring and it's available in the family.
this is insane.
This
is
is
actually
more
insane.
than insane. I'll be honest with
And
you.
also, it just boils back to what we've been saying over the last few weeks.
Entitled.
How do they,
No, but crazy
2
family.
things. Thank you. Where do they gather these crazy people who
That are
all
in
think
agreement?
alike, and they're like,
Yeah.
you're wrong. How could he possibly be wrong?
Now let's get down to the nitty gritty of it. Yeah, it's a ring that belongs to his ex-wife not ex-wife, sorry, late wife.
late
Pardon
wife.
me, late wife that died, and essentially it's his. It's a really special piece of memory for him as well. Yeah.
Sentimental.
It's very sentimental. It's probably one of the only things that he's still got left. I'm so sorry. Why does nobody think that they need to ask him for permission?
No,
Full stop.
no.
Like, regardless, like, it's his possession.
I think it's
Like, let's start
entitlement.
there. No, of course it's
But
entitlement.
it's also lack of respect.
Yeah,
There
like,
tends to be a lot of lack of respect here. At a very basic level. I would never go into someone's home,
listen.
because even if they did live in the same house, that's his room, that's his stuff,
Yeah.
that belongs to his like late wife. Why would you go into someone's room, go to a dresser, pick the ring, not let them know, and then surprise, surprise on the day,
just casually
be like,
wearing it.
oh yeah, and you don't need it. It's disrespectful.
It's
Above
so
everything else,
disrespectful.
it's dismissive. It's disrespectful. I don't condone violence, but a lot of these stories, they deserve one backhand. Like,
But you know what? Also, this
Take
and,
it outside.
and Maddie crying, what the
Also-
hell has that got to do with me? Let her
Yeah.
cry because you
they're
made her
trying to
believe that
guilt
she could
trip
have that ring.
person.
No. Maddie crying
Like-
is because she doesn't know any better. I'm going to assume a 17-year-old doesn't know any better. When I say doesn't know any better, it's because the adults are saying it's okay. She's 17 at the end of the day. So at the end of the day,
Okay.
if a 17-year-old is like, yeah, but you said that's what they're going to come back with. We're immature. When you're 17,
Yes.
the emotional intelligence is really not there.
Agreed, but you do know
teenagers
that
are
doesn't belong to
self-entitled.
you. No, but
I know that it doesn't belong to you, but we were brought up in a different way, guys. You have to remember. This is what I'm realizing when I read these stories. People are brought
Clearly.
up different. So for her to cry, it means what? That she's been allowed to do this for a very long time, which is why she's crying, which is why she's beside herself.
This is so wild to
I
me.
would have called the cops the day.
Yeah,
of.
like,
I ain't giving no one no
But,
week.
like,
I'm
honestly,
calling
that's what I
the
don't
popo
understand.
I'm
right
so
now. In
confused.
fact, I'm charging towards you to get my ring.
That's what I was going to say.
You're gonna have to hold me back.
I'm
I'm
doing
not having a
Okay.
conversation
I'm
though.
not
I would
talking
literally
to
go to
anybody.
Maddie, the ring.
I'm not. Thank you.
Like,
Give me
no,
my
I'm not
ring.
having a conversation. I don't need to have. It's my possession.
Yeah.
And
The
also,
ring
this
now.
is where,
Like, that's it.
as a man, I do condone him using intimidating tactics to get back his own thing.
I
All he has
wouldn't go to
all he
Maddie.
has
I
to-
would go to give
No,
me my ring
forget-
now.
No,
Forget that. I'm going
her
to the
uncle.
person
I'm
who's
her
holding
uncle.
it. That's
fair
her
enough.
uncle.
I'm her uncle.
So
I
as-
actually have
As the
a right to
niece,
talk to
he
her.
can go
Yeah.
directly to the niece. Maddie, give me my ring. And she
Literally.
will instantly give it. There should be no reason why she should hesitate to
Yeah.
give him back the ring, because she knows for
It's
a
not
fact
his. It's not
not
hers.
hers.
Yeah.
It's actually her aunt's ring.
Yeah.
She knows it's
That-
her
that
late
died.
aunt's ring. So, like, for me, it's really, really simple. Him go through this whole like police. I'm not even doing that. Like, step one, Maddie, give me the ring. Thank you. But then also, I don't know what kind of relationship he's going to have with his family going forward, because
And that's what I
this
hate.
is insane.
No, do you know what I really hate? It's the fact that all these kind of things get normalized when you're in a family. Maybe they need to step back and let like a third
know.
party. No, honestly, because I think when you're
Don't
in
know.
something, regardless of whether it's this situation or something else,
That's
you can't
already
think
exists,
straight.
though.
It agreed, and like you can't think straight, so you need an intermediary, like a third person, just someone outside of it. Because honestly, I don't know why. Like, some things are so black and white to me. Like, this
Yeah.
this thing doesn't belong to you. You should have asked the owner for permission to use it. Facts, that's all it is, like at its most basic. Principles about respect, about ownership, about asking permission. That's all it is. However, now that the family have got involved and they seem to be on the side of Maddie, on the side of her mum, his
side of
sister,
theft.
like on the side of like theft. And do you know what it is? Because it is a lack of respect, but it's a lack of respect for like his possessions and his feelings ultimately. They
Yeah.
think that
And
it's available
his
and it's
wife.
free and anyone can just use it. And it's like, no, like this actually is one of the few things or it may even, he may have many things, but it's a token, it's also a token of their love. Like, he's lost someone, he's
It's
lost the love of
exactly
his life.
that.
Like, it also is something that him as a man, he proposed to
That's
the
what I was
aunt,
going
you
to
know
say.
that?
Can
So
we go
he
back
actually went
to-
out of his
he's the
way.
original purchaser.
Yeah,
of the
like
ring.
he actually purchased it like for a specific purpose. If Maddie or her mum, his sister,
Mm-hmm.
had asked, she may have even got the ring. Do you know that? He may have actually said, do you know what? Yes,
No.
take it.
I
I'm
would
not
say
saying,
no.
I'm
I
not
don't
saying,
think
no,
that
no,
he
no, no.
would've.
I don't know,
because
but
the
I'm
first
just
thing
saying.
he
but-
said is,
I'm
I'm
just
still not
saying-
over it.
Agreed, but I'm just saying, but like, you never know, like you might be able to get the results that you want if you go about something the right way, right?
Yeah.
And so if he actually maybe fought for a little while, like even if he said not now, maybe I'll give it to you later, I don't know, but it's always best to ask, right? Like this is a situation where it isn't best to ask forgiveness rather than permission. You know, certain sayings like, yeah, I'd rather ask for forgiveness, but it's like, no, my guy, like, in a situation, you ask for permission. I think it's just so disrespectful. And I really feel sorry for him because his family is now against him.
Yeah.
In a situation that is so black and white. Like, he's like, his sister and her daughter are in the wrong. Literally, like, it's that black and white, but now it's gonna have like domino effects on his relationship with the rest of his family members, and it looks like he's the bad person, he's the one in the wrong, and slowly that will erode his relationship with his family, and I think that's really sad.
I think it's already happened. But honestly, I think he should have just asked for the ring from the person that had the ring, because now the whole thing is escalated and now there's potential intervention by the police when it didn't need to go that far. I mean, now he sees clearly who his family are and their way of thinking, which unfortunately, it, it's insane, really. But part that to one side, I think the whole thing has blown up. He's definitely not the asshole. He does need to get the ring back, but I just don't know what his family relationship's going to look like going forward.
Yeah, that's why I
Yeah.
said, like, he's the one that loses, and I think that's really sad. When, like, some things are really straightforward, it's not yours. It wasn't yours to take. Like,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
Okay, so my story comes from relationship advice. My fiance, 25 male, agreed to give his ex-girlfriend another baby after I, 23 female, said absolutely not. How can I forgive him for something so insane?
Well.
What?
I think insane's a good word. Okay. My fiance, 25 male, has an ex-girlfriend that he has a 4-year-old child with. His ex-girlfriend is now lesbian and engaged to a woman living in a city 7 hours away together with that child. They called us over FaceTime 2 weeks ago and asked us the ridiculous question if we would be comfortable, if my fiance, her ex-boyfriend, would be comfortable donating his sperm to them so his ex and her new fiance could have a baby together and it would be related to the child. I'm obviously so uncomfortable with that and couldn't believe that they even asked that question. We respectfully declined. I told my fiance all the reasons I was uncomfortable with it, and he agreed that it wasn't going to happen. Fast forward to the past few days. My fiance and I have been fighting a lot and have decided to take a break. While we were on the break, the day after I left, he called his ex-girlfriend and told her he was willing to donate his sperm so they could have a baby behind my back.
Hey.
I freaked out and told him we are officially over and, and he's ruined everything. He then said it was a mistake and he'll call her to tell her he's changed his mind and he's not going to do it as he doesn't want to lose me over this. I just feel like the damage is done and I don't know how to feel anymore. How can I forgive him for something so insane?
I don't have it, guys. I don't have it. Do you know what? It's one of those situations where I'm just like, this is how he felt the whole time. You were just the person that swayed him. He
Yeah.
really wanted to do that.
He
It
probably
wasn't a
wants
big
another
deal.
child.
He doesn't care.
Yeah.
It's not technically going to be his child like that. It's just, he's going to be a sperm donor. I don't think that matters so much to him. He will go where the wind blows. If you say no, it's a no. If you say yes, it's a yes. So he doesn't really care. And for him to go the next day after you leave, you were the reason why he said no.
Yeah, it's
His
true.
heart was of
It's
a depth.
so
Yeah.
clear.
That's
It's
the only
like
reason why he said
crystal
no.
clear.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't really have much to say on this story apart from laugh, because it's just like, well,
yeah.
it's
I
up
don't-
to you what you do next.
Yeah, I don't think the ex is an asshole for asking a question. It actually makes sense.
Yeah,
I'll be
yeah,
honest with you.
definitely.
Like, they're in a lesbian relationship, you need sperm. Oh, here's tried and tested, do you know what I mean? Like, you've already got one child.
It works.
Yeah, it makes sense. So
I don't think it's a wild thing at all. That
No,
she actually-
yeah, I don't
the
think
way
they asked,
she
but-
worded it is like it was a completely insane, like it was a
Yeah.
boyfriend. But now when I heard
ex have
same
already got a
sex-
child, like that
yeah, I
makes
was just like, girl,
that
it's fine.
makes complete sense.
Yeah.
However, his ex-girlfriend or whatever, like the OP basically, it has been quite clear, like she doesn't agree with it. So no, Marie's completely right. Like, his heart is okay, like, with donating his sperm, and maybe, honestly, maybe he actually does want another child, because like he might want to be involved in stuff. You just don't know, like. And that'd be quite strange as well.
A
So
lot
he'll
of the
see his
times-
child.
yeah.
No. But he'll see his child, because remember they've
Yeah.
got a child together.
Yeah.
And it's like he's supposed to like pretend to not be related to that child.
That can't be the way.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm telling you right now, I bet he
That's-
actually does want another child. Like,
That's
and,
what I was
and
gonna
that-
say.
Exactly. Opie hasn't said that, but I'm telling you right now, I bet any money, because he's actually open to another child.
Yeah.
So anyway, because you can't talk to one child and ignore the other and pretend that you actually aren't the father of that child in the same household. You can't do that. So I think it's clear, like, there's no legs in, like, you've got no relationship. You're not wild for breaking it off. Like, you don't agree with it. You don't want your boyfriend to have another baby with somebody else. Like, yeah, move on.
Yeah. Do you know what? I agree, because also I need a bit more information about this. Like, if he says yes and you support him, what's his parental roles with this new child?
He's a father of
And
two.
then exactly, right? No, but
To be a father of two.
it seems so crystal clear to us.
Yeah.
But because there's the girlfriend, the ex's got a new girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of that situation, then I'm like, wait, will the girlfriend want him to ignore that that's his child?
Yeah.
But
And
that's
to
why I said
pretend-
you can't.
So,
That's
so then it
strange.
gets complicated, right?
Yeah.
So then that's when you bow out and you just say, like, if it was on the agreement that, you know, he just donates the sperm and that's it, that's fine. But it's never gonna work, because he
But
wouldn't.
could
say-
you not
I'm-
be in a
I'm
relationship with
going
someone
to
that does
say,
that? I couldn't do that.
Without a shadow of a doubt, that this guy doesn't know what he's getting himself into.
That's-
He
that's
doesn't.
what I was gonna-
Like,
But that's why
I don't know
she
him.
needs to exit.
It's giving Mark Sloan, what's it
Oh,
called?
yeah, when he really wanted
And,
that
like,
the baby, right?
Yeah,
His
'cause-
daughter's baby,
and then
right?
my girl was like, you can't, like, that's our baby. He was like,
Yeah.
I'm the father.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
my child. And we're going to have to be a threesome. I don't mind you being
I know. I
another
think
mum,
he changed the
Yeah.
terms.
but it has to be us three. And she really wanted custody. So he has to figure out how that household is going to be. And I don't think he's thought about it. I think he just
Yeah, I
wants
don't
another
think he's thought
child.
about it. But
I
also,
think
mate,
he
you
also
saying,
wants to help. Listen, my thing is, I actually think that she needs to bow out of the relationship.
Yeah, well, she says that
Because-
they're permanently.
Yeah,
now
that
on a
they're
break,
officially
yeah.
over. But the reason that she needs to bow out is because he doesn't know what he wants. He's not very decisive, because clearly, if the next day he can get on the phone and say, yeah, I'll help. But before that, it's
That's
like,
crazy.
no, because you're in a relationship with me. That's also saying that you're holding him back. So that's why I don't think that there's any legs to this relationship, because it's like, does she want to be the person that holds him back? Does he want a kid? And does he want to have actual parental duties and responsibilities with this other kid? What type of relationship does he foresee his ex and her new girlfriend having with him? Like, it's all quite complex. And honestly, she's
complex.
20.
But
She's
let me tell you
23.
something.
Walk
This
away.
guy,
Absolutely.
the FaceTime conversation was enough. Guys, the FaceTime conversation was enough. He didn't need more, which is why the next day he was like, I'm up for it.
But that's-
And then he was like, oh, actually, she doesn't like it. I'm not willing to lose you over this. It's giving wishy-washy.
No, but it
I think
also
he know- I
makes
think
a
he
really
knows what he
simple
wants to do.
relationship complicated.
Yeah.
So
I think deep down, yeah, but I don't think he knows the implications. He doesn't know if, I mean, I don't
He
know.
hasn't, he
He-
hasn't
no, he
thought
hasn't-
about, like,
Yeah,
that
but-
contribution of money,
Agreed.
contribution of time now invested to looking after two kids, not one. And also, those two, he's just gone over the hump. He has a 4-year-old, and now he has to
Yeah.
start again, like doing the terrible twos.
Oh.
Like, it's, and
No,
what-
but
that won't
if he's not
impact
supposed to be-
his current relationship.
No, but if he's not
Like,
supposed to
it's
be
just-
involved in it, like they just literally just want his sperm, then he doesn't have to do night feeds. He doesn't have to do anything.
But that's what he says
Right.
now. But I'm telling you, imagine it's a, I don't know what the first child is, but say it's a boy and the next one looks exactly like that other boy. I'm telling you, he's not going to look at this other child and be like, oh, it's fine, I only agreed to sperm. No, he's going to be like, no, that's my son. He looks just like Derek. I
Yeah,
can
like-
just see it. He's going to be like,
I think it's just
no,
ridiculous.
that's my son. I promise you, there's no world in which he gives his sperm to one child and he's the father for that child, and then gives his sperm to the same woman and says, no, that's not my child. I'll agree to cutting ties. And I really don't believe that's going to happen.
No,
Fair enough.
agreed. And that's why I said, like, this man is very much open to having another child. But you said that she should assess, like, whether she, or ask about the kind of relationship that he would have with the kid. I personally, and this is something, like, going
some
forward.
women are okay, right?
No, I know. But could you respect a guy or date a guy that has a child and doesn't look after them? That's a big no-no for me, honestly. So it's like, even if she got back with him, like, I personally don't like that shit. Like,
No.
I don't respect it. I don't find it attractive. And I couldn't be with someone that is irresponsible and doesn't take care of his kids.
But that's not irresponsible. That'd be an agreed way of, like, proceeding going forward. I don't think that's irresponsible. Doesn't really
No,
come
no.
into play. But
No,
I hear what you're
I mean,
saying.
but there are people out there that just choose not to look after their kids. You know what I mean? And you know they've got kids as well.
No,
So
no,
it's like
I
couldn't,
hear
I
that.
couldn't do that anyway.
I don't
So I
like-
would need to take myself out of the entire equation.
Yeah.
That's why I
Yeah, that's
said
because
leave.
you would definitely want to contribute. A lot of women, being that we have stepmoms, a lot
Yeah.
of
No, you
women
know.
would rather the child not exist.
Yeah,
So of course they're going to be fine with it. So it's just, what kind of woman are you?
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the main question. Because I know people who are like, yeah, I don't really want to see the child.
No,
I don't want him to
wait a
have
sec,
anything
do you
to
know
do with-
women that are with a guy that has kids and he doesn't play daddy at all? Like he's irresponsible. Really?
They exist amongst
They-
us.
No. I know
Definitely
they
exist.
exist, but I'm like, I personally don't know
I
anyone
don't
like
think
that.
it's like,
With whatless men, because that's what they
I
are.
do.
Really? That is crazy.
do you know what sends me? You asked her a question, she answered it, and then you
And she's
proceed to
like,
find
"What?"
another way to
Because
I'm
answer.
I
like,
need clarification, because
do.
I think that's a wild.
Yeah, I
I
do.
could not condone that.
I do. 100%. And they're so happy as well. 100%. What are you talking about?
And then they expect him to be a good dad to their kids as
They
well.
have children.
Oh,
And
that's
he's
disgusting.
a brilliant dad to them.
That's disgusting.
And it's agreed
That's
that
disgusting.
this is where he stays.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, but some people are disgusting.
Yeah.
I think that's so awful.
And I bet those women think they won.
I think that's terrible.
Yeah, I think it's what's happening in the block, babe. It's happening on the block every day.
No, that makes me sad.
It does, but there's probably women that you know. You're saying you don't know them. They don't have kids yet. You
Yeah.
don't know them because maybe they're not in a relationship with somebody. Let me tell you something. A lot of women will do it. There are a lot. There are.
And there's a
fleeting
lot
around.
of people that just won't say.
They just because they know it's controversial and they know how you feel. You're very loud about how you feel. So,
Yes.
and
yes.
I agree
will
with
be
it.
heard.
But I'm saying that if I know, I don't care. But if I know that somebody feels strongly about something, that's not something I'm going to bring to them. Might
No,
be
of
exactly who I
course, of
am.
course, of
So
course.
even though you're saying that, you know them.
Okay, I don't know that I know them then.
You
Let's
know
just
them.
put it that way.
Absolutely.
Okay, this is coming from Truth Off My Chest. I think he's abusing our daughter. Whoa. I think I've caught him twice now. Going into her bedroom at night without any good reason and making her cry, but I don't have any proof. Tuesday night, I stayed up until 3 a.m. asking him why he went in her room. If I could describe to you how different he acted that night, I would have to give so much backstory and detail. We've been together almost 8 years now. I know when he's lying and I know he's really good at it. He's one of those liars that believe their own lies. But he finally convinced me he didn't and would never hurt her. And then the very next morning, I hadn't prompted her or anything. She said to me, Daddy touched, and in brackets her name. I said, Daddy touched, in brackets her name. And she said, yes, I don't like that. I asked her, what do you mean by that, baby? And she mumbled a bunch of stuff that didn't make sense. She's only 2. She said something that sounded like toes. So I asked her if Daddy touched her toes with a little giggle, and she said no. And I didn't want to push it further very much, and she didn't want to tell me anything else. She had just woken up, so she was ready for breakfast. Then later that night for bath time, she cried and pointed to her backside. I asked her if it hurt, and she said no. But since then, she's been a little bit more aggressive, hitting everybody, elbowing and pushing around her baby cousin. She seems like she has some pent-up anger. And why did I ignore the signs before? She can't stand her dad half the time. She screams bloody murder when he lays her down to sleep. She cries, mummy, mummy, but he's convinced me that he needs to be the one to lay her down to sleep sometimes. And she shouldn't always need mummy. I just thought she needed to get used to him. I don't know. I just feel like such shit. What does someone do in a situation like this? And what if all of that was a coincidence and he's actually the amazing dad he loves to say and act like he is, even though she screamed to tell him to go away and doesn't want him around most of the time? I don't know what to do.
You need to take your child to the doctors and get her checked out, and then you need to call the police. The feeling that you're having is your gut instinct telling you that you are in a very, very awful situation and that your daughter's been abused. So yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
needs some SGU agents involved.
Yeah.
And cameras all around her house.
Absolutely.
To catch him in the
Yeah, step one.
to
It's
check.
like you don't want to catch him in the act because then something has to happen.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, cameras in every single room. Get the picture, the photo camera one.
Yeah.
That
Hidden one,
definitely
yeah.
needs to happen. Talk to SVU detectives because they're very good at their jobs.
The New York ones specifically.
Even if you live in London,
Call Olivia.
the New York one.
Olivia Benson, Captain Olivia Benson. Do that, and then you also need proof. This is why you need the video cameras. Like, unfortunately, your word and also the word of a 2-year-old just isn't enough. So you do need some sort of proof, even if it's just like he's aggressively holding her. That in itself is enough to give you like the full custody sway. But this is a terrible situation.
She needs to do all the steps, man.
Yeah, I
Get
say
those hidden cameras.
I'm in agreement with you. But yeah, very sad.
Yeah, because also, do you know what I really don't want? I don't want it just to be the relationship breaks down and he gets 50% custody. I don't want that. I want him to get no custody if that's really what he's been doing, and that's why you need the proof.
So mine is from, would I be the asshole? Would I be the asshole if I ignored my parents' olive branch after the traumatic birth of my babies? My 30 female and my husband 38 male have been together for 12 years, married for 7. I had a strained relationship with my parents, late 60s, prior to meeting my husband due to my mother's behaviour and my father's non-action against it. Some examples for context. My father went away for his work for about 6 months when I was 8. My mother didn't do any of the motherly duties and relied on me to care for my younger siblings. Aside from taking us to school, she didn't do homework, cook us dinner, or wash our clothes. In brackets, it says, my dad did all of this before he went away. At 8, I was making sandwiches for my siblings whilst my mum would read her book in the bath. I would put them to bed and would make sure that they had clean clothes as we were picked on for being the dirty kids.
Oh.
We went no contact about 11 years ago when I became seriously unwell, and it says in brackets, 2 weeks in intensive care, followed by a further 5 weeks in hospital, and my parents didn't contact me once. They knew, as my now husband called them, they didn't visit, call, or text, but posted on social media about how devastated they were with the situation, acting like they were the
What?
most caring parents in the world. When my husband and I got engaged, we sent invitations to our wedding to them, and no response. They didn't attend. My husband reached out to my father when shortly after we got married, I found out I was expecting. The response was lackluster, along the lines of, I hope you're both happy, but nothing more. No contact after that, nor when I had our second child. Recently, we had a very traumatic pregnancy and birth, with my babies arriving 3 months early with major complications. 2 weeks after the birth, I received a contact from my parents in the form of Facebook request and a message saying, long time no speak, which I have not responded to. We speak to numerous members of the family, so imagine that they've heard what's happened. I don't know what to do. I don't understand why they will reach out now when I've had many major life events in the interim: wedding, birth of first and second child, graduating university, etc. I can only imagine it's similar to when I was in hospital and all about the attention or what they can say on social media. I don't trust their motives at all. My husband and I are at odds over this though. He believes that they have realised the error in their ways and are trying to make amends. It's causing arguments because he thinks I should accept that friend request and what he perceives to be an olive branch. I genuinely don't know what to do. Would I be the asshole if I block them and remain no contact, knowing this will probably be until they die? Then I edit. Hi all, thank you for all the comments so far. Didn't anticipate this blowing up so much. With regards to my husband, yes, he's 7 years older than me. We got together when I was nearly 19 and he had just turned 26. There was no grooming or any perverted situation surrounding us. He does take on a bit of a parental figure at times, and this is something we have been working on for 8 years with the help of a therapist. For some context, my husband isn't keen for me to reconnect with my mother. His intentions are my dad. He agrees our children should never have any contact with my mother, nor would he ever push for us to speak. His view is that my dad is a victim as much as I am, that he's trapped in an abusive relationship, and to some extent I agree, which is where my indecision comes from. if my parents divorced and went no contact with each other, I would probably look to reconnect with my father on a low contact basis without children involved. I will show my husband responses when he gets back from work. For those who asked about the babies, they're still in the NICU and more than likely will be for the next couple of months. They're doing well, all things considered, and are stable now. Thank you for taking the time to read and respond. What do we think?
Do you know what? I'm just trying to calm down because I'm so tired of men defending men. I am so tired. That guy, her husband has found some sort of compassion for the dad when for 7 weeks, it was 2, then it was an additional 5 weeks. She was in hospital and the guy didn't reach out once. You're telling me that the mum held him hostage and so he couldn't make even a phone call, talk less about an actual face-to-face visit with his daughter. But somehow he's the victim. Somehow that big man couldn't go and check in on his daughter. And somehow he's the victim. And I'm so tired of men finding excuses for other men's poor and terrible behaviour. He's not a parent. He's actually just not a parent. And he's not a good parent as well, because how long has he chosen to not reach out to his daughter? Let me tell you, at this current moment in time, we have so many modes of platforms that are available to anybody in which you can reach out. Facebook is not the only platform that you
Yeah, I
use
find that
to
really
reach out
strange,
to
yeah.
anyone. Like, that might be the chosen platform for the old generation, but you still have calls, you still have texts, you still have actual visitations to someone's house. I'm telling you right now, I have had visits that I never expected from my parents as well. They just turn up. So
That's because
I
they
just
know
don't
where you
think-
live, though.
Thank you.
Might not know where she is.
Okay, cool. But I'm just
So you don't have her number? That's
They
what I
probably
found
don't
really
have
strange.
their number. They
Huh?
probably don't have her number. Guys, when you go no contact, I'm deleting all ways that you can contact me. I'm
But
gonna
I'm-
move.
yeah.
I'm
Okay,
gonna.
but
It's been
listen.
11 years as well. Not everyone
Okay.
has the same number.
Okay,
So we're
that's
assuming
fair.
that all of
That
those
is
things
fair.
are gone.
Okay, cool. Okay, but fact of the matter is, he did completely ignore his daughter when she was in intensive.
I agree.
When she was in hospital, and that's
And then pretended to
do you know what
be
that-
a good parent.
Thank you.
And
That
show
sheds
concern. Remember, they
On Facebook.
pretended.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It shows his character. If he couldn't reach out to his daughter when she was in hospital, then that doesn't make him a good parent. And that doesn't, I don't know, just because in the pot, it seems like prior to that 6-month gap in which he was out of the house,
Mm.
he was a good parent.
Yeah.
But she was 8 years old,
Yeah.
I believe. There's a lot of years that came after that period in which he displayed that he wasn't a good parent to his daughter. And I just really hate that the husband is only focusing, tunnel vision even, on the first 8 years of his wife's
You see,
childhood.
this is where I disagree. I think she's leading that in saying that she's open to being with her dad, because she said that if her parents were separated, she would have that relationship with her dad. I think that's what he's actually focusing
Focused
on,
on.
because she's saying that she would have low contact with him if she knew that the mother was nowhere to be seen. So because of that, because if I have a conversation, I'm like, oh well, if the circumstances were different, I would.
But then
then
it
my-
sounds like
my
she's
advice-
blindsided as well. Like she's.
Yeah,
it
no, I'm
seems
not
like
saying
she's
that you're
also
wrong.
not taking
I'm
into
saying that we're
Why,
seeing
but
it-
why is everyone making up situations though? Because
Why don't we
I've got a
deal
lot of
with the
questions.
facts?
Yeah, I've got a lot of questions. Well, first question is, why does the husband, OP's husband, think that the dad is trapped in this abusive relationship? Where are the facts for that?
It depends on, like,
no,
she
no,
hasn't
she's
given
been saying.
us any of the
Agreed,
details.
but that's why I'm asking. And then also, like, we're assuming a lot of things. Like, they may actually have her number, and that's why I think it's a bit strange for the older generation just to reach out on Facebook first. Why would you not use a phone, etc., etc.? You also have a history. Okay, but you have a history of her parents basically not checking in, not being there when they're supposed to, intensive care, etc., and then pretending to appear to be the loving, supportive parents
For a
of this
photo op.
person for a photo op, for basically content, guys, content. Yeah. Okay.
Seriously.
So therefore, what's the question? Is she an asshole for not accepting an olive branch? No, you're not the asshole, because you have time and time again history evidence of your parents not showing up for you. And that's both of them. It's not just mummy
Right.
dearest, by the way. It's actually daddy as well. Like, your dad is a full grown man who should know better. And if he wanted to support you, be there for you, like, a good dad would not let anything come in the way of that. Yeah.
Thank you.
So
And then-
therefore, like, stop. I think no excuses for any of them. For OP and her husband, like, they come as a package. Clearly, your parents aren't divorcing, and you need to stop even thinking about these scenarios about if they got divorced. And yeah, like that's why I wanted to ask. Why is everybody assuming and thinking about the hypotheticals? Why don't we deal with real life? Like, you're not the asshole. If you don't feel comfortable, like, accepting the olive branch, leave it. And also, can we? Why is it olive branch? They haven't led with an apology. They haven't led with any. That's not an olive branch. A friend request.
A friend request
is
is not
just
an olive branch.
a way to connect with someone. Yeah, that's purely what it is.
Yeah.
It's not an olive branch.
Does it
like,
come
by
with
any
a side of
means.
an apology?
You do know you can send messages. So therefore, have your parents actually sent a message offering an olive branch, because otherwise, sis, OP, it's just a friend request.
But also, do you know what? You need to tell your husband to just stay stum. No one wants to hear from you, because fact of the matter is, she can only work.
He's got a father. He's got an older
and that's
father
weird.
complex.
7 years doesn't make you my
relationship.
parent.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that's very weird, but that's an entirely different conversation. Fact of the matter is, feel how you want to feel. I don't know which olive branch you're referring to, because
a friend request is not olive branch.
everything that you just said is not insinuating that there's an olive branch coming anytime soon.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think in terms of the husband, though, I do think that certain people, it takes, I don't even know what it is. It's like until they see it with their own eyes, which
Yeah.
he has, but until they see it with their own
Relativity.
eye. Yeah, but I think that's people, though. I think
For
it's
sure.
people, but also some people have an extent of forgiveness that they wouldn't allow for themselves. Like, for them, it would be an extreme no, but for other people, rather, I think how he should have worded it is, however you feel comfortable. Personally, this is the evidence. This is what they've missed in our lives. I don't know how you can rebuild. If you want to go low contact with your dad, ask yourself what that means, because your dad comes with your mum. Let's not talk about divorce.
Yeah,
Your dad
they
comes
come
with
as a
your mum. I think he
package.
should have been a bit more like factual about the situation. And I say this because I remember a situation when I was like, I went to like T's family. They were having like this really big event for one of the aunt's 60th, I believe. And everyone pulled together. And I remember sitting there and I was like, I don't have this. Like, and I was really sad. And I remember saying it to him. And he was like, what are you talking about? Like, you're part of the family. I was like, yes, but this is not my family. I have a very similar family, but we don't have this.
Yeah.
And he just didn't get it. So he was like, no, like, it was all about being inclusive and blah, blah, blah. But he wasn't hearing the words that I was trying to say. But he was trying to say that, no, but whatever you don't have, you do have with me. And I was like, no,
It's not the same.
Yeah.
I don't have it. Full stop. Like, it's not, doesn't live here. This is the first time I'm experiencing this. Obviously, I know what it looks like because I've had it when I was younger.
Yeah.
But I'm realizing that you guys, this is how you are. You're like a family that's tight knit. It was like maybe midnight before the event and everyone was waiting for their dresses to be taken in and stuff, and they were eating and cracking. I was like, we don't have that.
Yeah.
And I think the next day, maybe because I'd mentioned it to him when he went back to pick up something for one of the kids, he came back and he was like, I think I got what you mean. Like, I take it for granted because it's always in my face.
Yeah.
So I think there's an element of that as well. When you have something and you haven't had trauma, you don't empathize with that person's feeling because you've never experienced it. So it's all like, no, but it could get better. So I think there's an element of that as well. I'm not okay in it, but I'm understanding that some people are just so disconnected from trauma that they think it's just a quick fix it of no. But if you talk to them, they'll understand. They don't understand the extent of the
But
damage
I'm
that's
also telling you though, men naturally side with men.
Yeah,
Like,
I
he
don't
can
disagree
find-
with you.
He
I
can
don't disagree
find
with you.
grace,
Yeah.
and he can find some
Yeah.
leniency for the dad because he's a man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
there's just that.
But I think before you even get to that, I think, and even with like your example about T and the big aunts all pulling together 60th birthday, I think a lot of people, human beings, have grace for parents.
Yeah.
So I say, before you even get to the men thing, no. I'm telling you, honestly, we've all been programmed, and in most society, to believe that parents want what's best for a child, yeah? That your parents are always going to be there for you. They're always going to support you. Oh, no, parents go above
But
and
let's
beyond.
work with the facts.
Yeah, agreed. But I'm telling
And
you
that all
right
parents are
now,
good.
and we've been all indoctrinated to think that parents are just good people, like to
Yeah.
their kids. So therefore, I honestly think the husband, OP's husband, is probably coming from that. But the only thing is, and that's why I said from the very beginning, my advice would be like, let's work with the facts. Like, you actually do have a history, and he's seen evidence of her parents not coming through for her. So therefore, like, if I were him, my advice to my partner would just be like, are you comfortable? Like, let's lead with how you feel. Like, how do you feel about the situation? And I'll support you whichever way you go. Like, whether you decide to block them and no contact forever, or whether you slowly let them back into your life, etc., etc. But that's why I also wanted to ask, what is olive branch to her? Because a friend request is not olive branch, bro. Like, and I mean that in every kind of language I could like speak. Like, it's not olive branch. It's literally just a friend request. And as I said, you can actually send messages to people that you're not connected to. And that's why I said, did they send a message as well? Because maybe that's the olive branch. If someone also sends a message saying, hi, whatever, I'm so sorry we haven't connected, like, I really want to repair our relationship, that's the olive branch. But if your parents only send in a friend request and nothing more, and also in the past have been quite
They said,
fraudulent
hey,
as to...
long time. That's what they said there.
They
The
did.
long
message
time no
actually
see.
said, long time no
You did.
see.
Okay, and like, or what you can do is honestly accept it and see what happens. Yeah, because then you'll really see whether it's an olive branch or not. Like, what message do they send next? And that's it, and then go from there. But she's not the asshole. She's protecting herself. And also, honestly, do you know what? It's really hurtful when your parents don't come through for you, but then you want to add kids to the mix.
Girl, been
Oh my God. So your parents can then
It's
disappoint
so
your children?
painful. But then
Wouldn't recommend
you
it.
kind of start to this is what I've done. I've disengaged.
Exactly.
I just disengaged. I'm
Yeah.
like, you're never gonna come through. You didn't even come through. Like, I remember my
Exactly.
wedding, everyone was like, he's coming. I said, that man's not coming. I said it day one. Everyone was like, he's coming. He's not coming.
Yeah, because
When
it's
he
the
didn't
belief
come,
that parents will
I was
be
like, he
there.
ain't coming, bro.
And it's like, not everyone's like that.
Yeah, no people are not like that at all.
Yeah, not everyone's like that. And it's sad, but I think you need to protect yourself and also use the facts.
Yeah.
Like, as females, I think that we don't. Like, we're so emotional. Like, and it's just like, no, what are the facts telling you?
No, I think she's actually been quite. What's it called? It's. Do you know what I actually also think? She's postnatal.
Yeah,
She's weak.
it's true. It's
Like,
true.
she's. When I say she's weak, I mean like she's vulnerable.
Yeah.
She's in a vulnerable situation. She's worried about her kids.
She's an
And
emotional state,
I always say to everyone, there's always an opportunity if you've been an asshole to come during these times. Death, weddings, anything where you're kind of vulnerable. Because if she was hanging tight and she was normal, like without everything that's
Yeah.
happening, her kids are in the NICU, she's what's it called? That's why she has to kind of write in. But normally she'll be like, nah, not involved. So I feel like
They've been
she's
on contact
currently
for 11
yeah.
years.
So I think it's a moment of vulnerability, which is why they can slide in.
Yeah.
Okay, so my story comes from Am I the Arsehole? Am I the asshole for refusing to hang out with my friends because I always end up paying?
No, not an asshole at all.
So here's the deal. I, 28 male, live on my own and manage my bills responsibly. But money's been tight lately. My friends, let's call them Sarah, Mike, and Jake, have been asking me to hang out frequently, and I used to go along because, hey, it's fun to unwind with your crew, right? But here's where the issue comes in. Whenever we go out, whether it's dinners, drinks, or something casual, it seems like I'm always the one footing the bill. I don't mind chipping in or covering for someone occasionally, but this has become a pattern. They either forget their wallets, claim they'll Venmo me later, spoiler, they never do, or outright assume I'll take care of it. The last straw was a few weeks ago when we went out for dinner. They invited me, either knowing or not caring that I've been stretched thin financially. We hit up this nice place and they ordered appetizers, drinks, and desserts like it was their last meal.
Last meal.
When the bill came, everyone just sat there awkwardly staring at it.
That's wild.
Guess who had to step in?
You didn't have to though.
I know, that's what I was going to say. I paid because I didn't want to cause a scene, but I felt pretty resentful afterward. When I gently brought it up later, they brushed it off saying it's no big deal or that I'm better off financially. Not true. Fast forward to now. They've been asking me to hang out again and I've been declining. I don't want to keep paying for everyone or feel like I'm the bank in the group. I tried explaining how I feel, but they accused me of being stingy or not wanting to spend time with them.
Oh, wow.
Am I the asshole for saying no and prioritizing my financial boundaries, even if it means distancing myself from them?
Let me tell you something. People don't understand the art of separate bills. Just go
Yeah.
and say, this is my bill, and I'll walk away with my little receipt about
Yeah.
your eating like it's your last. We better get the hell out
Okay,
of here.
I've got to say, in America, separate bills aren't a thing.
Yeah, I know.
So I can tell that this is American because the UK, separate bills are very much a thing.
But you can do you know what I would do? I would do a sly thing. I would actually go to like nearly the end of the meal, go to an attendee, whatever, a waitress or whatever, and pay for my share. Ask for the bill and be like, can I pay for these items? Da, 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 and obviously pay service charge as
Yeah.
well. I would do that. And then when the bill comes, I'll be like, oh yeah, guys, I've already paid for mine.
Yeah, because you can
That's what I
definitely
would
do
do.
that when I go out.
And then you would see just how selfish or what their expectations are. I believe that everything he's saying is correct, that his friends actually do use him as a
bank.
ATM.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like he could actually get proper advice, proper evidence, pardon me, by literally watching them fight over a bill that is only their own.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Literally, that's what I would
definitely.
do.
But also, on top of that, I think like, firstly, I don't think that they're his friends.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I
those aren't your
think-
friends.
I
Friends
think
don't do that.
if you suspect that someone's using you as a bank, it's because they're using you as a bank.
Literally.
Like, that's actually not your friends. Like, you can't say that the bank is your friend, can you? But what I'll do is they're clearly going to be in a WhatsApp group or some sort of messaging group. Just message them honestly and just say like, "Hey guys, can't like
Money's a little tight this month.
money not even this month. Just say like, I have a few plans in the future. Like, rid yourself of this like financial burden within
Yeah.
this friendship, and just say, I'm working towards like a particular goal, whatever, so that there's no time limit on this. Not this month,
Yeah.
not 3 months time, but
No, I hear
just
that.
let them know that you can't spend money the way that you used to before. And then we'll see if they're really your friends. Let's see
Yep.
how many invites you're getting
Yep.
going forward. Let's see how they behave when you are out with them. Because fact of the matter is, I'm questioning whether they're your friends, not questioning anything else.
Mm.
Because if they're not your friends, then don't worry about this situation. Like, be around people where it's friendship first and it's not you leading with your money. And that's why you get the invite out.
Yeah, agreed.
Agreed.
And that's it. Thank you for listening. If you've listened the whole way through, drop your favorite subreddits and themes in the comments.
We have even more juicier stories, so don't miss out next week.
See you soon.
Bye.